All right, you are here with Jillian Holt, aka Social Banky, and I am at the Creative Mindset. All right, y'all, let's get it. Ow.
Okay. Welcome back to another episode of the Creative Mindset. Today we have a very, very special guest, and that's not an understatement today. This lady right here is a pillar in the city. I'm talking about way ahead of her time. Film writer, director, producer, the pen behind some of your favorite movies that came from the city. Airbnb, Scam Likely,
Mhm.
Black Men Don't Cheat and Black Men Don't Cheat 2 just came out. Creative Mindset family, please welcome Jillian Holt.
Hey,
Hey,
y'all. Hey.
Hey,
thank you for coming.
All right, thank you for having me.
thank you for coming. Appreciate you big time.
All right, let's do this.
And we are doing it. We are in the presence of a superstar, ladies and gentlemen. You know, with film, you always hear about the director and you always hear about the actors.
Mhm.
But the mastermind, the film doesn't happen without the writer. That is the bones, the muscles, the heartbeat, to be real with you, to a
Mhm.
production. How you feeling today?
I'm feeling good. How are you guys feeling?
Feeling great.
All
Feeling great.
right,
It's good to be in
good.
the
I'm
building.
feeling good.
Black History Month.
Yes.
Yes, yes. So I want to know what got you in the film because being a writer, you could have went so many different ways.
Yeah, it was completely by accident. I was a teacher of CMSD. Oh, okay.
Mm. No, we
So I was,
appreciate you.
oh,
And it's not a
I
lot of
love
black
teaching.
teachers.
I love teaching. I'm a professor now, so I still teach, but just not
Ooh,
at the elementary school level. But I was at a place in my career as a teacher where I felt kind of stagnant. It was like, teaching, you have to teach the standards and there are things, I mean, it's the same thing. And you're teaching for the test. You're teaching them this, you're teaching them that. And if you go off rail, then you got to reel yourself back in. And because you don't want to miss a day and not teach something that's, God forbid, on that test, then your test scores drop. So it just, and there was some other stuff going on where I'm like, do I want to do this the rest of my life? And I was randomly in Ollie's Bargain Basement. I always tell this story. It's so random. Um, they had just opened one up in my neighborhood, and I was up there shopping because I'm a shopper, and I picked up a book called Screenwriting for Dummies. And I was like, it's $5.99. I'm like, I love a deal. So I said, let me read this. I literally randomly bought it. And I had always liked writing, but I had never really put the idea of screenwriting, writing together in one notion. Like,
Mhm.
I mean, because I pretty much went right to school after high school and was like, I'm going to be a teacher. And that was it. Like, I didn't explore anything. I didn't say, well, I mean, literally, you just do what you're kind of told to do and what you think you should do and have a career that actually makes money as opposed to what I do now. No. But so, went and did what I thought that I should do. And at that point in my life, I was not young. I was probably like maybe late 20s, early 30s. So I felt like an old lady. And yeah, I loved the book. I read it that night, the whole book. I was just in there highlighting because I'm a teacher. I got highlighters and crayons and shit. So I'm highlighting. I'm like, I did another one. So I went to like Borders. That was back when Borders was alive, and I bought like three more screenwriting books. Went through them. I'm like, I gotta try this. Wrote a screenplay. It sucked, but I was like, I gotta do this. I want to do this. And at the same time, I was looking to get a master's degree because, in teaching, you get paid more if you have a master's, and they kind of almost force you to get a master's. So I was looking at schools to get a master's degree in teaching. And then I found out that Cleveland State had a film degree. Now, I already had a bachelor's in middle childhood education, and they only had a bachelor's in film and digital media. And I said, I think I want to do this. And everybody was like, well, what the fuck are you doing? Like, you're crazy. You have a career. What are you doing? You're being goofy. You're spending money you don't need to spend. But I did it anyway.
Mhm.
And I got a bachelor's in film and digital media, and I was still teaching the whole time. And I never, and even after I got the degree, I still didn't feel like being a filmmaker was a viable career or something that I could do here in Cleveland. So I kept teaching, and I always worked a side hustle. So I was working a side hustle job at a place called Beach Brook. And I had, had a conversation with a co-worker. His name is James Swoop. And we were just talking, and he was like, I heard that you had a degree in film. And I said, I do. And he said, what do you like to do in film? And I said, I probably, if I do anything, it'd probably be write. And he said, can you write me something? And I was like, hell yeah. And literally, I wrote a screenplay called Dreams of Summer that we tried to do, couldn't do. And we turned that back around, and we were like, well, we can't do the film Dreams of Summer. Let's do a web series. And we took the characters from the screenplay Dreams of Summer, and we made a web series called Langston Tributes. And the rest is history. That was long. I'm sorry.
It's not about it being long.
That
I'm
was
glad
good.
because you told the story, you answered so many questions, and it was basically sticking it to the system. I
Yeah.
can't keep doing this because the constant question I always ask brother and several other people that are pursuing different things outside of what you do every day is it all worth it?
Absolutely. It's worth it. It changed my life. It changed the trajectory of my life because if I wouldn't have been in Ollie's that day and picked up that book, like I would still be, I wouldn't know you because I would still be teaching at Riverside Elementary, shout out. And that would be it. That would be my life. And I'd probably, I don't want to say I'd be miserable because I love teaching, I love kids, but I just was not fulfilled until, I got on that set and I heard action and I saw someone literally verbatim say the lines that I wrote and nail it. There's like no other feeling. And you're like, God damn. And sometimes I'll watch something, I'll be like, did I write that? And I had to go back. Oh yeah, I did write that.
Yeah, right.
I mean, because you don't, if you write as much as me, you start to forget everything. But yeah, it's no other greater feeling for me personally.
So from some of the things that you've written that I've seen,
Hmm.
it looks like you can do it all. But do you have a pocket that you like prefer? Because you have like the Black Man Cheat. I don't want to call it like the hood movie, but it's drama.
Yeah,
I would
yeah,
say that's
yeah,
drama. But then Boarding House was like horror or
yeah,
suspense.
yeah.
You know what I mean? And then like even not Scam Likely, the oh man, I forget the name of it. With the girls locked in the basement.
All locked in.
All Locked In. Yeah,
Yep.
that's a suspense film as well.
Hmm.
I thought it was gonna be like action how it started out, but then it
Oh
ended up
yeah.
being suspense.
Hmm.
So, and then you have, I don't know, maybe with Airbnb be suspense as well?
Yeah, that was kind
Drama?
of like a dramedy suspense because, um, I tried to sprinkle in some comedy in there because, our main
Favorite.
character, Joe Pitts, Haybert Flex, was insane. And, I'm like, I need him to do just crazy shit for no reason, to kind of break up, because the way it was written, we didn't want people to know just how crazy he was right away.
Hmm.
His craziness grew as you watched him go from just kooky to weirdo to psychopath. And that's ultimately what he was. But we wanted that trajectory to be a slow burn and not immediately know he's a psychopath. So in the meantime, he had to do all this crazy shit that was just funny.
So which one of the genres would be over your pocket, or have you tapped into?
If I could write anything, it would definitely be like fantasy, but you need millions of dollars to make a
I
fantasy
was about to
movie.
say.
Like, so, the reason I have so many like
Mhm.
those urban thrillers, urban dramas is because those honestly they make money. And I am not a person that particularly likes to be poor. So I need to make some money. Y'all need to make some money, honey. And I know that if I drop one of them on Tubi, it's gonna make me some money. So that's why that lane I shifted into that. But I also love a good crime thriller. I love, all the For My Man, Dateline, Fatal Attractions, all that. So it was not like a hard stretch for me to do that. And I like horror. I mean, I like all genres. There's not really a genre that I just, well, maybe war movies. I'm not really into that,
That
but
was what I wanted to ask you. As I was coming and driving down here, I was just thinking, like, what are you into in terms of cinematography? Because as a fellow writer,
Mhm,
just having things on paper and then having people actually act it out is one thing. But like you said, that fantasy, because I write a lot of nonfiction, I mean
mhm.
fictional novels.
Okay, okay.
So I write a lot of Dungeons and Dragons type stuff. Like,
And I love it.
and you to put that in film, it takes a lot of money. What was some early influences for you that you watched? Because you seem like a movie buff.
Oh yeah, I love movies. I've always watched the movies. We didn't have a lot growing up, but we had a TV and we had a
Hmm.
Betamax VCR. So
Yes, that VHS.
right, at that VHS,
Yes.
and we used to rent the movies at Blockbuster. And
Yes.
back in the day, y'all might be a little too young, but Marx used to have a big video section.
I remember that.
Oh,
Yeah.
oh, yeah,
We
remember
not
that?
that young.
Oh, okay.
We think we
So
young, but
we
we
used to,
not.
rip movies from there. So yeah, I think some of my favorite movies that really like resonated with me when I was like, when I start writing, this is the type of movie I want to write. I'm a huge John Singleton fan, so I love Boys in the Hood. I loved Higher Learning. I love Poetic, like anything John Singleton.
Mm,
Sign me up. I'm there. I love it. I'm a 80s baby, so all the 80s movies, The
me too.
Breakfast Club, Goonies, Princess Bride, all of those type of movies I watched every day. Like every day when I came home from school, I put a tape in the VCR and watched something. So, yeah, like the early 90s movies that really don't translate well now. Like you probably couldn't get away with some of the stuff that they did back then. But,
This is
you
before we
know,
had ratings.
yeah, yeah,
Like
this is
no R
like,
rated R and all of that stuff. It wasn't it was
yeah,
non-existent back then.
yeah. I don't even think we cared about it if it was existed. We just
Yeah.
watched it.
Didn't care
And
at all.
so, yeah, it was no like, oh, you can't watch that. That's a adult movie. No, we just
No.
watched everything. So, and I love I love the action fantasy movies. Those were some like Return of the Jedi. I'm a big Star Wars fan, a big, yeah, I love Star
Yes.
Wars. I'm a huge Lord of the Rings fan.
I love Lord of the
Like,
Rings too.
I love everything about Lord of the Rings. I love Game of Thrones. Like, I like fantasy series, like,
Mhm.
Stranger Things, not that finale, but everything else leading up to that finale.
Somebody
Sa-
should have died, yo.
Same with Game of Thrones. I loved everything
Somebody
but
should
the
have
finale.
died.
Like, so yeah, like,
Let's stay there for just a second. I'm gonna give it back to you, bro. Like when it comes down to finales, do you have like a personal attachment to certain characters that you write? Because I'm willing to sacrifice for the sake of the story because it's more realistic that way. Because
yeah.
certain characters just can't survive.
That was an adjustment for me as a writer. I didn't want to, I wasn't accustomed to killing off characters, so nobody was dying. And then I wrote Locked In, and I sent it to Dave Schneider. Shout out to Dave. And his first note was, some of these girls need to die because nobody died in the first Locked In, y'all. Joy, you lived. Everybody lived. And Dave was like, mm-mm, kill them off. And I was like, no, no, I love these girls. I mean, I wrote these characters for these actors. I didn't want Buddy to die. Who wants Buddy Vaughn to die? But I had to kill them off because Dave was like, no way, you're killing some of these women. So that was my first getting adjusted to killing. So yeah, now I can kill anybody.
So when you're writing, is like the writings, especially for the pocket that you're in right now, like you
Hmm.
said, baby, I like money, so I need to make this. Are you writing from experience or is it from things that you've watched and you're inspired by it?
A little bit of both, a little mixture. I am of a certain age, so I do have some life experience and I got some crazy friends and some funny experiences. So sometimes I will sprinkle some of that in it. and then I'll get a phone call like, "Bitch, that was my baby daddy you talked to," and I'm like, "I'm sorry, I needed that storyline," but you know, because it's true. Don't tell me nothing that y'all don't want me to know.
Hey, as a writer,
Don't
yeah,
tell me nothing because I'll
yeah.
be like, "Ooh, he had a good story." But yeah, it's from everywhere. It's from my personal, my friends. I watch a lot of TV shows, real true crime, because true crime is great to steal from. I steal a lot from true crime all the time.
Those stories be wild as
I
fuck.
know. And then and then I also a thing now in a lot of independent film, especially black independent film, is stealing from older movies. Like,
Yes, yes.
they'll take a movie,
Re-rock it.
and rework it and just make it black and put in
Mhm.
urban characters. So a lot of that too.
I can't wait till somebody do what is the Jack Nicholson film in the hotel? The Shining. Make it black.
Ah,
Do The Shining black.
they that's probably coming. I would not be surprised if that wasn't coming, if
But
not in production right now somewhere.
What I wanted to ask you is character development.
Mhm.
Like I've always struggled with character development and making sure that the characters, how do I have my characters have an arc in
Mhm.
terms of growing, maybe going the antagonist route and actually ending up evil because they got their own personal demons.
Mhm.
How do you actually develop your characters when you write them?
Well, it depends on, the story. But yes, a character needs an arc. This is something that I just taught last week in my art of story class. Shout out to Tracy. A character needs an arc. What an arc is in the beginning of a story, a character is one way. We meet them in whatever reality, whether they are a bad person, a good person, or are an already, a person that already has a good grasp on the world. We're going to meet them in one of those three ways. Then by the end of the story, the character should change. That is the arc that he's referring to. So the change could be a positive arc, meaning that we meet them in a bad place, we meet them kind of depressed. By the end of the movie, they're the hero now, they're good. Or we meet them and they're kind of solid, they know what they're doing, and then because of the things that transpire in the movie, they're in a darker place. Think Michael Corleone in The Godfather. That was
Hmm.
a negative arc. Or they could have a flat arc, meaning that they're good in the beginning, they're good in the end, but because of their goodness, it changes the characters around them.
Hmm.
That's like what is that one? The Hunger Games. That main
Yeah.
character, she's a flat art character because she stayed who she was the entire series, but because of her willingness to go against the realm or the regime, it changed the lives of the people around her. So you have to know which one you want in the very beginning. You have to understand the story that you're trying to tell, and then craft that character's actions, what they do around this arc that's coming. So I hope that was
No, you answered
okay.
it. You
Sufficient.
helping me.
What was the first thing you ever wrote and then it got filmed and he was like, wow, this really feels real?
I mean, before Life and Tributes, I was in film school, so I wrote a film called Ain't No Love, and it was my thesis film. And yeah, that was the first thing that I filmed, I wrote, and then I had to direct it for school. So, yeah, that was the first thing. And actually, he probably don't want me to say this, but the time traveler, Mr. Mike Reeser, he was my main character in
Word.
my thesis film. And when I be showing people, he'd be like, "Don't show nobody that." I'd be like, "But it's so good." I mean, I think it's good, but it's probably not. But it was my thesis film, so
Can we find that anywhere?
it's on YouTube.
Okay.
Sorry, Mike.
We got to. If we watch Land of the Skinny Jeans, we gotta watch this, Mike.
And he's a dramatic. He is not the time traveler. He is like a dramatic character, so it's a little different than you see him regularly. So he's like, "Don't show people this," but I thought it was good. I thought he did good, and I thought he did great.
That should be really interesting. So here at Creative Mindset, we like to talk about mental health. And that's kind of like the gist of the show,
Okay.
where we talk about, and it helps creators as well as us just knowing how we're more connected
Hmm.
than separated. So when you were writing, well, not when you were writing, but when writing, have you ever came across the moment where you just don't have it? And then how did you overcome that?
Oh, like when I'm writing something and I'm just like, I don't want to do this, or
Or it feels like you're forcing it?
oh, that I mean, it's a thing, especially if you are a writer like me who gets commissioned to write other people's screenplays. People will reach out to me and say, "Can you write this movie?" And I'll be like, "Okay, what is it?" "All right, gang of niggas killing each other." Like, and I'm like, "Okay, all right, here we go, bang bang shoot 'em up." That's what I like to call them. That's my nickname for them type of movies, the bang
Mhm.
bang shoot 'em up. So, and all the time, like you don't like it's the same kind of stuff most of the time, so I have to force myself through it. So, really what helps me is that I do an outline, and sometimes it is just the 7 plot points of the movie. Sometimes it is scene by scene, depending on how I'm feeling that day. But I have to, if I don't have an outline, that I know I can't get it done because I know that I'll get stuck in the middle and be like, all right, who's dead? Little Ray Ray shot who? So I make sure that I have a tight outline and I just stick to it, just and forge through.
Organization.
Yeah.
Do you ever feel like the need to self-sustain, economically, with your money
Mm-hmm.
threatens the integrity of your work?
I mean, I try to, whatever someone comes to me, whatever they want, I'm going to give them a complete narrative with a beginning, middle, end, and 7 plot points and an arc of the character with stakes. And like, I'm putting everything that I know to put in there. Now, is it the best story of all time? Probably not, no. But they're going to get an actual screenplay. You're not coming to me and I'm just going, because I'm trying to just get to the money, I'm gonna hand you some bullshit. Like I'm
That's
gonna
real.
give you a story,
Mhm.
and it's gonna have everything that any movie that you would watch anywhere has in it. And it's up to the director and the producer who take that screenplay from me and do what they will. And sometimes it comes out close to how I wrote it, and sometimes it doesn't.
It's similar to what he say a lot when he do photo shoots. It depends
Hmm.
on the client and what they bring to me.
Yeah,
If you come to me with a half-ass treatment, it's just kind of like if you want to bang bang shoot 'em up and it's kind of like generic, then it's only so much that
so
I
I
can
could
do
do.
because you giving me no depth. So it's just like I'm giving you the best that I got, but I could do so much more if you had.
If I could just wrote it from scratch myself.
Yeah.
Yeah, because a lot of people don't understand story, like, because story is almost like a science. It's not, people and the people who think that they're good storytellers or that they have read a book or they've watched a movie think they could do it and don't understand everything that goes into what makes a story great or what makes a character memorable or what, makes an audience really resonate with that story. So they're giving you stories chock full of dialogue with no plot. So you're just
Mm.
watching a whole bunch of shit happen and you're like, okay, why? Why did that happen?
Hmm.
I don't get what's
'Cause I
happening.
can't sit through long dialogue without good plot points. I
It's
love I
it's
love
torture.
dialogue. I
Or just
love dialogue,
or
but
just progressing the film itself. Like
Yeah.
yeah.
what are you talking about?
Yeah, because a dialogue is a tool to progress the plot only.
Yes.
That's all it is. It is
That's all it
not
is.
a conversation between two people. It is not just me and him shooting a breeze. If we shooting a breeze, it should be about the plot of the movie. And a lot of times with people who don't know what they're doing, it's not. And you just watching people. I just watched a movie. I'm not going to put it out there, but I just watched a movie the other day and like 10 minutes of arguing led to another 10 minutes of arguing, led to another 10 minutes. And there was really no plot. It was just about, a bad relationship and arguing. And there it goes, an hour and a half of that until somebody pulled out a gun and tried to kill the other person. But yeah,
Mhm.
no real plot, no real story, just arguing. And like some people like that shit. I've seen movies like that make it the most popular on Tubi and make $200,000. And
Or
so,
TV
That's
shows like
insane.
Adolescence. That
hmm
show was terrible, but did great ratings on Netflix.
oh
That show,
yeah.
me and my wife watched that show like this shit don't even have. I feel nothing. I was
I
just
think it
like,
was
why is this so popular?
I think it was because of the no cuts. They didn't cut in that. So it
Hmm.
was just continuous.
Continuous shot.
Yeah, it was a
Hmm.
I
continuous
never even
shot
heard of this
all
show.
through the season. So I think people were intrigued by that. Like if you watch it, there's no cutting.
Hmm.
So like, that's cool, that's new, that's different.
Like
And
following the character walk from a scene to another scene. And I was just like, yeah,
yeah.
that don't. I've seen this shit before. This
But you
ain't.
said the
I'm not
dialogue is
impressed.
trash. I don't think I can get into that. Before we get too far away from
Hmm.
that, do you have a rating system that you have for yourself at all with like when you write a film, and then
Hmm.
do you rate what you feel like it should do?
Um, it just, I can't really do that until I have all of the necessary. Like, if I'm writing a movie for a specific person or a specific company, then I can kind of gauge what it might do. But then at the same time, you can never call it with a movie. Like, you can give them everything that they want, and for whatever reason, they don't watch it, you know? So you
Hmm.
can't really, and the movie is good, but it just doesn't get the good in a technical aspect, but it doesn't
Hmm.
get the viewership, i.e., the money that it needs to make. So, I can't really ever call it. There are some scripts that I wrote that I knew, like, if casted right and shot right, this movie's going to quadruple whatever budget somebody puts into it. So I do know that, but
And I asked that question because I wanted to know, has there ever been a film that you written and it didn't do what you expected to do? It was like below your expectations, and
absolutely. We could talk. I mean, we've talked about it. Johnny's talked about it on other podcasts and other situations. Boarding House. Boarding House did not, it barely, I don't even know if it's made its budget back yet. I don't even think it's made its budget back. And, not that we put, hundreds of millions of dollars into it, but, that was not a movie that I anticipated would not make its budget back. And I want to say that's the only one that I've ever written, that's not made, but it was shocking. I'm like, bare minimum is supposed to make its budget back. But, you just can't call it. You never know why. And sometimes it's the timing. Sometimes a movie will drop with a shit ton of other movies, and those movies get the attention, and your movie just sinks for whatever reason. But again, I will tell independent filmmakers, a movie is never old. Don't ever stop promoting your movie. I'm still
Hmm. That's true.
promoting Langston Tributes, and we shot that 55 years ago. So don't ever think that whatever. It's like, people are still watching movies from the 1920s. They're still
That's
watching
a fact.
silent pictures. People are still watching Scarface. Like, people watch movies from all, so your movie is never old. So Boarding House still has a chance to make its budget back, and we plan on continuing to market it until hopefully maybe one day it does.
I'm glad you said that because that is true, and that's for like movie buffs as well as like I like to call myself a student of the game,
Okay.
and like watching old movies before, like when the new I think it's called Nosferatu,
Mhm.
when
I
that
about,
came out, I
Mhm.
had to go watch the old
I was
one
about to
to,
say
to
my bread.
understand.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it was
Yeah.
literally no audio. Like, wow, I
No
can't
audio.
believe people actually used to go to the movies to watch
Mhm.
something like this. But that was supposed to be like the first vampire movie, wasn't it?
Mhm. Yep. It sure
And
was.
it was kind of like crazy to see what they had to work with, and then even like shooting in those darker areas. Like, and this is black and white too.
Black and
Like,
white on film. That back then they shot on film. Now we're all digital, unless you have a whole bunch of money and you just, got $100 million and you want to shoot on film. But for the rest of us that don't have that, we're all digital. But shooting on film is a different beast because it's a different everything.
another thing is with the dramas.
Hmm.
Is there? Well, not is there? No, it is. Is there stunt doubles, or do everybody do their own stunts when it comes to the action scenes?
Oh, in independent films, you're usually doing your own stunts. Like, people always ask me about the action and sex scenes. The sex scenes are not real. Like, I get asked that all the time,
I swear, in Black Men Don't Cheat too, he was clapping cheeks. You couldn't tell
That
me he was clapping. He wasn't
that's
clapping
what I
cheeks.
literally was just talking to Tierra Bacon, who was in that movie, and she was saying people was hitting her up like, "I know you was naked in the bed." She's like, "I had on my bra and my panties. Y'all stop it." But yeah, those scenes are not real. We just kind of craft them to look as real as possible. And fight scenes are usually done. Now, if you are lucky enough to know a Keith Collins or someone of that nature who is a stunt coordinator, who could come to set and teach you how to punch, teach you how to take the punch, like, you're lucky. But, most of the time it's just, you know, people, and you just hope and pray they don't get hurt being goofy, doing something you didn't tell them to do. Like, I'm just gonna jump off the building. No, please don't. Because I shot a movie, Workout Partners, and it starred Shaq Azir, and he had to do a lot of physical stuff. And, you know, I was scared. I was like, please don't hurt yourself doing this obstacle course and running. I mean, I didn't want anybody to hurt themselves, but he had, you know, as the star, he was the main character, and he was, you know, like climbing up mountains and like just doing all this really physically hard stuff. And there was no stunt double, it was no cut. Come on in. No, he was doing it himself. So I was scared, but he did it and he didn't get hurt. So I'm happy.
Outside of the commission that you get for actually helping people visions come to life,
Hmm.
how do you release your work and where it's not covenant? A lot of people like Erica Badu say, you know, I'm
Hmm.
sensitive about my shit, I'm an
Hmm.
artist. How do you, because a lot of people just can't let it go, you know what I'm saying? And work with other individuals, because you have to have I always say in previous episodes that we've had, is that you have to have a collaborative spirit, especially to make a film
Hmm.
and to embrace somebody else's idea about what you wrote and tell
Hmm.
you what they see within these characters in this scene. How do you let go?
It is, you know, you just kind of have to understand that, you know, ultimately you are writing for the audience, and the audience is going to take away what they want to take away. I'll give you a prime example. I wrote a movie called Catalyst, where it's about this group of friends who, you know, they kind of turn on one of the friends, and, you know, she ends up getting murdered. And she was a horrible friend. Like she was horrid to all of these people, right? She did horrible things. They ended up accidentally, I mean, I'm giving the whole movie away. They ended up accidentally killing her. And the audience all sided with her. Every single solitary, you know, post was like, oh, those group of friends was horrible. You got to watch who you friends with. They hated her. They was jealous of her. I'm like, did they not watch the movie? Were they not paying
Hmm.
attention? She was fucking their boyfriend. She was stealing their money. I mean, she was horrible to these people, and it was purposely crafted like that.
Hmm.
And the audience took away that you don't be friends with people. You know, I'm like, okay, audience, like, you know, and like I would see the comments, and I would so want to comment, but I'm like, I can't be that person. I can't be the angry writer, like, you are wrong, and you know,
Hmm.
like, so I just let it be, you know, and it's not easy. I'm gonna tell you, it's because sometimes I see comments about stuff, and I'd be like, I got it. I'll call Johnny and be like, "Did you see that stupid ass?" Like, because people just, but you know, that's the audience. I'm writing it for the audience. Take what you want from it. But that was really weird to me that everybody thought she was the good one, and she was actually the antagonist of the story.
We had a guest previously said when you release the art that you've been holding is no longer yours. Do you believe that?
Absolutely, it isn't. It's for the masses, and they're gonna take away what they want. They're gonna like it. They're gonna hate it. They're gonna receive it the way that they receive it, and it might not be the way you intended it. And you just have to be okay with that and move on to the next project, which is what I did.
Art is very subjective. So, with you having the audience in mind
Hmm.
when writing, doesn't that give you a little bit of room to actually, do you find relief in that room? Like by being subjective and they're not looking at it right, and people can pull many things from this.
Hmm.
Doesn't that kind of make writing a little bit easier though? Or would you say it makes you more of a snob then? Like they're not gonna get it.
I mean, you know, a lot, and I feel like that's a problem with a lot of writers that they feel like, you know, they're not gonna get it, and they might not get it, but you still have to write it the way you want to write it, and if they get it, they get it. If they don't, they don't. Like I think I would drive myself crazy if I, you know, if I said, because there, you know, even with the movie Locked In, you know, that was one of Johnny's concerns, was because I told it in a series of flashbacks,
Hmm.
would the audience understand what was happening? And I was like, if they don't, they don't. Like if they're
Right.
confused by a flashback, which sometimes the audience, it's a fickle audience and some things can confuse them very easily. But I said if they're confused by the flashbacks, then they need to go watch
Flashbacks
a
are necessary.
yeah, because it was primarily about women being locked in the basement and why and how they got there. We had to give them flash. We couldn't just keep them in the basement the whole time and then they just talking, talking, talking. We have to give those
Oh, I
flashbacks.
hate
So
them one scene fucking films,
yeah,
man.
and they
Phone
just
booth. The one where the dude got buried alive and the whole movie was him in the
has
casket.
oh
My God,
yeah,
that was just
no,
like
that's
wow. I
torture.
watched it all the way through, but still,
Because you want
it
to see
had
how it
zero.
ended.
Yeah, it had zero flashbacks though.
Yeah, because you probably watched it thinking they're gonna give me a flashback. They're gonna give me
They
a,
gonna give me a
and they
flashback, and they
never
never
did.
did.
That's challenging to have went through that because when I watched it, it made me think about your version of Saw, but nobody got tortured
hmm
in that basement. It was mental torment, but
Yeah,
it was like Saw
yeah.
until the end and the door opened.
Until
You could
that
leave.
door opened. Yeah. So yeah, you have to just step back and then let them, because for most of the time I feel like the majority of the audience will get it, but sometimes the squeaky wheel gets the oil, like they like to come on to Facebook and be like, that movie was so stupid, and you just like, all right, dog, you got me,
Hmm.
you got it, okay, it was dumb, move on, I don't care. But yeah, you can't really let that get you off of your mission as a writer to write a good film with everything that you want in it.
Are you familiar with Blender?
Uh,
It's a software.
no.
All right, Blender is like a 3D animation software. It's
hmm
also a free software as well.
Okay.
Are you familiar? I don't know. Do you listen to ASAP Rocky or tune into anything he does?
I know who he is. I know he's married to Rihanna,
Okay.
and they have three beautiful children.
Well, he just dropped
Common
a
law.
video like last week or 2 weeks ago. He dropped a video called Helicopter, and that
Okay.
whole video was like created by Blender. He also had an
hmm
expensive film team, but it was shot with those cameras, and then it was digitized in Blender.
hmm
And you said that fantasy is like your next thing. So with technology being so much more affordable, do you even see it like in your near future of putting together that fantasy film because you have AI?
Asking me the question. No.
Yeah,
Mhm.
because Higgsfield, I've seen Higgsfield AI. It's a guy I've been following for about almost 10 years as
hmm
well, and he's been creating these crazy videos
hmm
with Higgsfield AI. Then you even what you can put together in with your pocket with Sora.
Oh yeah.
Even though that's a small duration, but Higgsfield makes it longer form. You have Blender. You
hmm
can make that
Oh
fantasy
yeah,
there.
you can, and this is my stance because this is such a hot topic in filmmaking. The whole AI and the technology of it all, taking all the jobs, and pretty soon actors will be replaced by their doppelganging, AI person, and
Mhm.
everybody is just so scared. And I tell my students or anybody who asks me, if you don't do nothing else this year, you better fucking learn AI. You better learn it in your field, how it coincides with what you do. Because if you're one of those anti AI people, like, oh, I hate it, it's environmental, in 3 years from now, you're going to be at the Amazon warehouse packing up, boots. And,
Mhm.
and, and like, why didn't I learn how to use what's it called?
Higgsfield.
Why didn't I learn how to use Higgsfield? I need to learn Higgsfield. Learn it and I know this is going to be very controversial. Learn it in screenwriting. Do not do not. I mean, people like, oh my god, like I'm telling you, I be in the groups and I see people like literally tell people to kill themselves when they're like, do you use what AI do you use for screenwriting? And people just be in the comments like, you're not a real writer. Go to hell. Get off of Facebook and go learn how to write. And I'd be like, God, like this is serious. People have, and then but I know people, and those same people are logging off and going to Chat GPT and saying, put me together a three angle, like, so you can't really let those people dictate what you do, but learn it. And because I've seen it do some amazing things in editing, like
The movie is made in editing,
yeah, and I've
post
seen
production.
I've seen how AI can. I've seen it in podcasts, and recently I
Mhm.
saw someone taught me how to put something into. I forget the name of the program because I'm not good with names, but you can put in an episode, and this AI program will take out clips and it will cut out any ums and and like literally
Mm.
it edits the whole podcast. Am I giving away y'all secrets? I'm hoping
No,
not.
No,
Okay.
we don't use
No.
the
I still do it the old-fashioned way.
But I'm about
Yeah,
to
but
say, she don't
there's
use
a
it.
program for that. I'm telling you right now. Oh, I keep touching this mic. I know better. I'm sorry, y'all. I keep being like, what
She's
is
getting
that?
excited. She's getting so
I
excited.
feel it like, what is that? And then I'm like, oh shoot, I'm touching the mic. I'm messing up the sound. But
You're
yeah,
in front of the camera today.
I know this is not my normal. But yeah, I mean, when I saw that, I was blown away. Like you could edit a whole podcast episode in an hour. You can have the clips. You can have it does the transcription. I mean, I was like, oh,
I wonder if that's Opus Clip, because that was the most
I got a
popular one.
picture. I took a picture of the program on my phone, and I'll tell you what it is when we get done. But yeah, I mean, so learn AI. Don't be afraid. Use it. Now a big thing is vertical video. Everybody's trying to shoot verticals. Everybody's trying to
Hmm.
make a vertical, and you literally do. You could do it with AI. You could do a faceless TikTok page full of with a vertical story, and get a million followers. Just stuff like that. There's so many ways that technology is going to be the future of money making. And like, I mean, so don't be the dinosaur. Don't be the dude that's pulling out the flip phone and because he don't want to upgrade, like, that type of goofy stuff. So learn AI.
And it's funny that you say that you're pro AI, but I don't understand why people are anti AI, because AI could even come up with a fresher idea, because like that last Jurassic Park, we didn't need that.
No.
Man.
And
No.
then like as
No, we
many
didn't.
Spider-Mans
God.
as we have, we didn't need those.
We didn't need them.
You know, so with people continuing to recycle these same ideas, like I can see within probably the next 5 or 6 years, there's going to be another Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Oh,
The one in the
goodness.
70s, and then when they remade
I'm
it in
cool
the
with them
2000s,
remaking that right now.
I'm not, because we already had it when we were in high school, when they came out with that Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Yeah, but
When
it's been about 20 years.
we don't need another one. Why do we need
It's
another one?
cool for the
Because
next
Why do we
generation,
it's
bro.
called IP, and that's the difference between independent film and then studio film. Studios are constantly looking
Mhm.
for intellectual property, i.e., IP.
Mhm.
And if they feel like it already has a set audience, like as much as you hate Chainsaw Massacre, I guarantee, well, I can't guarantee, but if they dropped another one, you might watch it just because you
They have a cult
already.
following.
Yeah, and like so that's what they look for. Whatever, no matter whether it's an already established, movie or series of movies or television show or book or podcast, whatever story, whatever it is, they're looking for IP because they don't want anything fresh and new that they have to bet on. They don't want to be like, well, people watch this or not. Like that is, very much frowned upon in Hollywood. So when we get those kind of movies, it's, we'd have to like really be appreciative because we don't get like that's a hard movie to get made in Hollywood unless you are even when you're a big name, it's a hard movie when you're just coming with out of nowhere with a new concept.
That's
So
just to piggyback what you said, and I know you said you watch horror films as well. Like
mhm.
Black Phone 2 wasn't necessary because they tapped more so into the Freddy bag and
Mhm.
wanted to reiterate Nightmare on Elm Street. And it was nothing when you watch the clips, I was like, I'm not going to movies to see this. I'll wait till it come out. And I'll buy it. I'll buy the little $10. It's cool. And I was like, it had like 2 or 3 scenes where I felt like, okay, this is Freddy. But it still didn't give me everything that I needed. I wound up giving it like a 6 out of 10.
Yeah, so
And that's what you're talking about. That's what
yeah.
you're talking about.
Yeah, because the first Black Phone was
Was
so good.
10 out of 10.
10 out of 10. Like I was like,
10 out of
oh,
10.
this is what we need. This is different.
This is new.
It's giving us what we're familiar with, but it's new, it's fresh. It's I loved it. And that second one, I was like
Blah.
on my phone scrolling. So
I watched it just so I can talk shit about it.
yeah. There's lots of movies that I do that with. And did you see that Pet Cemetery that they did?
Of course.
It was
I
the
watch
worst,
all
one of the
remakes.
worst. I was like, why? Why
Did y'all
you do
even watch
that?
the first one?
IP, IP, huh?
Right, like so IP is very, very much a strong thing in Hollywood. So that's what you're gonna get.
The only one that I felt like they got it was the Welcome to Derry with they got it.
Yeah.
That I was like, y'all captured the essence of it, and then y'all
Hmm.
created something new.
No, yeah. Yeah, I like Welcome to Derry. It took me like 2 episodes to really get into it though.
A lot
And
of dialogue.
sometimes, sometimes that happens. But once I
Hmm.
got into it, I'm like, okay, I see why people was comparing this to Stranger
Cause you
Things.
waiting for the clown, cause this is
Yeah,
like, well, where
yeah.
the motherfucker at then?
Yeah, where
But when the black, when the mother was on the bed though,
I
man, I was
mean,
fucking terrified. I was in my room
I
like,
mean
I paused it
HBO,
like, it's
like
this is
I'm
crazy.
like even to the I mean, I feel like, I always to me personally feel like HBO is the standard. Like
Hmm.
I just feel like their programming, I'm sorry Netflix, sorry, but I
HBO
just feel
Max.
like,
Yeah.
HBO is the standard. So like they very rarely do I watch something on there and go, "Oh, they could have kept that." You know,
That
very
shit started
rarely.
with Chris Rock, bigger and blacker. Like HBO sets the tone.
Yeah.
That's a fact.
Hmm.
I can't think of one HBO production that I've watched to where I went and watched Sopranos, and
Hmm.
that kind of set the standard.
Yeah. But I mean, it's just to me.
Nigga, they gave us Cinemax. Like, come on now.
Yeah. I couldn't relate on the horror movies. I stopped watching horror movies after Exorcism of Emily Rose because most horror movies I just feel like they're demonic. They're not scary anymore.
It's a rough, horror is a genre that it will never go anywhere because it is a monster of a genre. Like millions, hundreds of thousands of people love horror,
People like
but
spooky.
I feel like it is a lot of regurgitated kind of, you know, taking a plot that we already know and sprinkle something else in it. Or I personally don't like PG-13 horrors.
That's what is
If I
that?
if I if I see a PG, that
I
means
can't do it.
parental guidance for that means you got to be 13 and over to watch it. So that just tells me right there it's terrible. Like if it's not rated R, I know it's a terrible movie. Like I know it's not going to be a good movie.
What does that even look like? Is that like showing you what being an adult looks like doing taxes?
I mean, yeah, I mean, it's just, you're going to get more gore and it is going to be a little more adult themed if it's an R rated. PG-13, you're going to have jump scares and like eventually a monster of some sort.
Paranormal Activity, Blair Witch Project. That's what that sounds like.
Hmm. Hmm.
Yeah.
What was the movie that just came out? I want to know how you felt about it. It's in a horror. I don't know if it would be categorized as horror or thriller. I don't know if you've seen it, bro. When the woman was using like witchcraft to take over the kids.
Oh, you talking about weapons? I
Oh,
liked
that
weapons.
was great.
I liked
Great
weapons.
writing.
I seen that
Great
everywhere. I
writing.
was supposed to watch that. I couldn't
That
get
was
Yeah.
to it.
great writing.
I mean, I felt like it was different, but the same, like it, writing movies, you have to, you don't want to be so different that it's weird and people don't get it. So you want to give people what they're accustomed to, what they're
Hmm.
used to, but you want to do a fresh spin on it. And that's what I felt like Weapons was a fresh spin. I thought everything, and then like I'm a film nerd, so I'm looking at the whole screen. I'm looking at the clothes that the people are
Hmm.
wearing. I'm looking at the things we see in the back. Everything was just perfect. Like there was no accidental things in that movie, and I just thought it was great. I
The
liked
reason
Weapons.
why I bring that up is because I immediately thought of Traffic.
Mhm.
Remember Traffic?
Mhm.
How they revisited every scene but from a different character's
Mhm.
point of view. I
Yeah.
love films like that because
Yeah.
it gives you way more perspective, and it I like films that you can watch the film and take from it a perspective that you can apply in your real life. Like you
Mhm.
cannot always look at things for surface level value.
Yeah.
When you're writing, do you try to emulate that in a way?
Yeah, I mean, depending on what I'm writing and how much creative control I have in the writing, because sometimes people will give me like, "This is what I want you to write," and there's no creative. Like I'm like, "All right, beginning," like, but if someone says, "I write me a script," I don't care what it is, and I get that too. I get that actually probably more than I get the people who are trying to get me to write very specifically. I'll get a phone call from somebody and they'll be like, just give me a drama with some sex, and I'm like, all right, got you. And I'm
I
on
know
the
you let them
town.
calls. I know you
Yeah.
let them calls.
I just got one other. I get them quite frequently. So yeah, because that just lets me be more creative and have that control and be able to do exactly what you just said, and give people a deeper meaning. Like when I wrote Black Men Don't Cheat, I told Johnny one of the things that was very important to me, that Martell was a good character. Like I did not want Martell to be a regular. Can I cuss on this podcast? I didn't
We've
even
been
ask.
cussing.
Okay. I didn't want him to be a regular ass cheating ass nigga. I'm like, I want him to have money. I want him to take care of both of his households. I don't want him to really yell, raise his voice. Like I want him to be a stand-up dude that happens to have two wives that don't know about each other.
I
Because
deserve to cheat.
I want the audience to, because trust me, I had talked to several different women because I really wanted the woman's perspective. And what I found interesting was a lot of the younger women was like, I have no problem with that as long as he's taking care of me, he's taking care of home, shoot. But the
Mhm.
older women was like, hell no, no, I'm not sharing my man. So I thought that was interesting, just a little social note. But
Mhm.
I really like, that was a purposeful thing. I'm like, he has to be the kind of dude that might make you be like, it's okay, I'm cool with it.
Mhm.
Because I wanted some women to be cool with it and other women not.
I
So
like that.
I know for time's sake you probably don't. That's my assumption. But do you ever visit any of the sets for majority of the projects that you write?
I do. I visit a lot, most, I want to say probably 80% of the time, depending on where it's filmed. I have some movies going down in Atlanta I probably won't get to. I got some movies in Memphis. I've been saying I'm gonna get to one of these Memphis movies, and I'm coming, Krim. I'm coming.
Yeah.
But Detroit, I go to a lot in Detroit, and then most of the Cleveland ones I visit, unless I'm doing something, unless I'm on another something and I can't.
Your IMDb record is crazy.
I got
Like
a
to the
lot of
point
stuff coming out
I
now.
seen a lot of those films and I'm like, man, I didn't even know she wrote this. Did she
Hmm.
not promote it?
Mhm.
I be promoting everything, so.
I was trying to figure out where I was messing up. And am I not watching enough stories? But I'm also not on social media all day, every day like I used to
Yeah,
be either.
yeah.
So it kind of gets lost. So you can refuse to say,
Mhm.
but do you have a cinematographer that you like to work with? Because um, I just started back watching TV again at the end of
Mhm.
last year. I have these spurts where I watch TV,
Mhm.
and with me, like I said, being a student of it, sometimes I feel like the cinematographer kind of guides you in a way to where you kind of know what's gonna happen, or maybe
Mhm.
it's just I'm just experienced. I don't know,
Yeah.
but sometimes like how a character is introduced or how they when they bring up a topic, who they show, who they pivot to,
Mhm.
the dirty shot over the shoulder. It just
Yeah.
you
It
know.
just it gives it, and I would say when it comes to cinematography, people often confuse cinematographers with videographers, and it is two different things. So, it is two different things. A cinematographer is cinema focused. They are there for the shot. Videographer is there. Sometimes they don't even know the difference between a videographer and a cameraman. Like it's just all intertwined. But I have worked with some phenomenal cinematographers, from Dave C. Snyder to Sean Adams to Keith Collins, up in Detroit. I can't think of the dude's name on
Who's
top
your
of my head.
favorite?
I don't know if I have a favorite. I love Curly in LA. Shout out to Curly. That is my guy. I think that his cinematography is beautiful. Um, I don't know if I have I don't think I have a favorite because they all have their own language. They all have their own cinematic language, and they bring something different to the characters. So it's hard for me to be like, oh, I like him over him, because they just, they're just all different, and I like them all.
So,
So
what are you most grateful for?
I am most grateful for, the opportunities that I am allotted by people, and the relationships that I have built that allow me to, work with all these different people, because this is 100% relationship built business. And I know that's going to hurt some hearts, because there are a lot of very talented cinematographers that we will never get that chance because they don't have that network. They don't have those relationships. So it is definitely, one of my things that I'm grateful for is just the relationships that I have built, and meeting people and knowing people, and people trusting me with their stories, because there's thousands of screenwriters out there, that you can hit up. There's 200 in the city of Cleveland. So the fact that I get phone calls every week from all over the country is, that's a blessing. So I think that.
I typically ask a question, if it's one lasting thing that you can leave people. I usually ask that to guests, but we know what you want to do, so I want to tap into that more. If you had a $200 million budget
Hmm.
and you could write and produce, or if you wanted to direct a film,
Hmm.
what does that fantasy look like? What does that fantasy film look
I
like?
already have it. It's been written for years. I don't.
Don't give the audience too much.
Okay, yeah. I had been working on this series for a very long time, so I already have it. It is something a little different, but in the same realm of the classic hero. Harry Potter, Game of Thrones. That type of. Based
Hmm.
on one character being the hero of the story and all the characters around this particular character. So, yeah, just give me the money. And
Is it safe to assume the characters are black?
the characters are definitely black.
And
Like,
that's what I love to hear.
they are definitely black. Yes. So, yeah, I just need the money. Just have to write the check and I'll film it here in Cleveland.
She got the cachet, man. Give me the money, yo.
Just give me the money.
So before you get up out of here, tell the people where they can find you. Also tell them how they can approach you when it's time to get their script written.
Okay, you can find me on pretty much, I think, all the social medias. Then my production company is Social Banky. So on IG is Social Banky, on TikTok, on Snapchat, everything is Social Banky except my Facebook, which is my name, Jillian Holt. But I do have a social banking for Facebook as well. So yeah, that's how you can find me. I think that the best way to get at me, uh, I would say it got to be email. My email is in my bio, so you can email me. But I don't take on too many things, so I don't want people to be like, oh, I'm about to hit her up. Because I have a whole like 2 years worth of things in the can that I'm working on right now. So, my schedule is pretty booked, y'all, but I can definitely I can give you some names of some people you can hit up. But yeah, you can all I take questions. People send me scripts and be like, "Can you read this and tell me?" And if I have time, then I will read it and give you notes and or tell you what's missing, tell you what you need. I work a lot with Women in Film and Television Ohio. We're about to do a screenwriting series where I do like a 1 day workshop. I'm about to do a 1 day workshop with HWIC Filmworks, and then we're going to do a whole screenwriting class that's going to be, I think, a 4 day class I'm going to do with them. So, and then I teach screenwriting at Cuyahoga Community College. So, if you are interested in learning how to write, any of those options, they're all out there. I post about them. They will be in on the social medias.
Jillian Holt, y'all.
All right. Thank you guys. This was so fun.
Thanks for coming.
That was dope.